Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Applecraft. It's a bit loud in here, if you couldn't tell, and there's a reason for that. We built this iron farm last episode, and I have since expanded it from one layer. We now have 4 whole layers here. Look at this, isn't this nice? We've got iron golems constantly falling through. Iron is no longer going to be a problem for us, guys. Look at all this iron. You know, oddly enough, one side of this seems to get twice as much iron as the other side. I don't know why that is. I must have done something weird with the hoppers up there. So now that we have all this iron, you know what that means, right? We're gonna actually start on our automatic storage room. But there's one more thing I want to do around here, besides actually decorating this iron farm, which still needs to be done, but I just spent a whole bunch of time building this. I don't feel like decorating it right now. No, you see this original iron farm here? I think it's time for it to go. Gonna save the poppies here, 6 stacks at a time. Get rid of the liquids. And now for the TNT. Have a special piece for each of you. And here we go. Goodbye, old iron farm. You were mediocre. There we go. I feel like that's enough destruction. You never know. I've been using this portal still for transporting the villagers, so we might want that portal again sometime. We're just gonna leave this here. We have some nice ruins now. But yeah, I've done a little bit more work off camera preparing for today's episode, and that work is here at spawn. So I was thinking about where I wanted to put our giant storage room, right? Because it's gonna take up a lot of space. Well, I thought it would be nice to put it underground. That way it would be easily expandable, right? You don't have to have a nice building and everything if it's underground. Like, if you need more space, you can just dig out some more space. So, I have decided we are going to put our entrance right here. I don't know if you guys remember, but last episode, this was just a mountainside. Now, we've got some actual nice looking walls. And what we're going to do is we're going to put a nice big tunnel entrance right here that we can fly down into to the storage room. I think that would be pretty cool. And while I was at it, I went ahead and added a little bit of greenery on the top side. Because I feel like the biggest flaw with this original spawn area here is that it's just been kind of too gray. So I thought I'd try adding some nature, and I really like how this turned out. I don't feel like I use alliums enough. Or the hanging roots. I think this is actually the first time I've ever used the hanging roots. You know, we've got sort of a sad situation here, guys. Digging out this spot for our beacon, you know, I found a piece of diamond ore. I mined it, got a diamond from it. Now it's time to activate the beacon. But do you know what I don't have on me? I don't have any iron ingots, or gold ingots, or anything, except for a diamond. I can activate this with a diamond. That's all I have. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna use a diamond to activate a beacon. Here we go. That was slightly painful. Guys, don't let me ever do that again. So if we're going to be building a storage room, we've got to find some sort of way to categorize the items, right? And we want a storage room for all like 1,000-ish items in the game. That's a lot of items. How are we going to categorize those? Well, I've been playing this game a long time, guys, and the longest survival world I've ever played on lasted probably like 5 years or so. And I learned something in those 5 years that has made me decide to do a sort of more unconventional categorization? What a word. Yeah, I'm going to be categorizing the items in a way that I don't think I've ever seen anyone do in a storage room before. We are going to be categorizing our items by the update that they came out in. Now I can hear you. What? Why would you do that? That doesn't make any sense. Seems like a terrible idea. And you know what? You're probably right. Most people have like all of their stone blocks together, all of their like wheat and potatoes together. Like, you know, we sort of have that up here. All of our stones here. Got wood and saplings next to each other, sticks. But that world that lasted 5 years, it survived like 8 different updates. And you know what I had to do every single update? I had to either A, just add on all the new blocks to like the end of the storage room in a place that didn't make any sense. Like, for example, when 1.16 came out, it had all the new nether blocks. Well, I already had a section of my storage room that had sort of nethery type things. I had like netherrack and blaze rods, soul sand, gas tier, but that was like in the middle of a whole bunch of other items. So what did I do? At first, I just put all the new nether blocks in a completely different area, but then after a while, that annoyed me, and so I just completely redid and reorganized my entire storage room. And that's really annoying. So the only way that I can see to avoid doing that is to actually categorize our storage room by update. When a new update comes out, we just have a new section that has all of the new blocks in it. I especially want to do it this way because I could reorganize my old storage rooms pretty easily, just because it was a manual storage system. But with this, we're going to be putting item filters with hoppers and everything, and if we have to reorganize that, that's going to just be the biggest hassle. I don't want to do that. So we've got our tunnel mostly dug out here, and now for actually decorating it, I was thinking that we should try to keep it to pretty much all grays. That way we can have some nice neutral colors, and once we actually start building the storage room down there, then I was thinking we could decorate all the different areas with like blocks from each update, you know? That'd be kind of fun. So for in here, we're gonna use some gray blocks like deep slate, andesite, smooth stone, basalt, some cobblestone, and cobbled deep slate. And I've tried to incorporate blocks from all eras of the game here, like smooth stone, or at least smooth stone slabs, and cobblestone. They've been in the game forever. Andesite, it's kind of been around for like about half of Minecraft's lifetime so far, you know? And deep slate, basalt, they're kind of new to the game. So we got all eras represented here. If there's one thing Minecraft has never lacked, it is gray blocks. And now that we've got our tunnel here finished, I have started doing some more digging and also putting in some redstone, because where we're digging here is very dependent on how the redstone all works out. So this right here is basically where we're just gonna throw in all of our items and let them get sorted. The idea is that you can just throw in a shulker box here, and that will automatically get unloaded, all the items will zip away, and it'll all be great. You'll see we have two staircases on either side here. I think we're going to separate out our stackable items and our non-stackable items. I think that'll just be easier in terms of building the storage system. So going this way, we'll have our stackable items, and over going this way, we'll have our non-stackable items. And so, you know, why don't I show you how this redstone works and how I accomplished all of this? But it's a little bit cramped here. So why don't we hop over to my creative testing world? So this right here is our shulker box unloader. Now, I've never actually watched a tutorial or anything for building a shulker unloader. Like, I know I've seen other YouTubers do this in their world, but I don't think they ever actually showed how they actually did it. So this is just the design that I came up with on my own, because part of the fun is figuring things out on your own. So maybe this is a really efficient design, maybe this is the worst design anyone has ever come up with. I don't know, but this is what we got. So let me show it to you. So first we throw in our shulker. It goes into this dispenser here, and this dispenser is hooked up to a timer here that will keep trying to plot things out as long as there's something in there. See? Just plot out another shulker. And then you'll see this comparator here and this repeater here that are hooked up to this piston. Those are supposed to detect when we actually want to extend the piston to break the shulker box. So how do we know when we want to break a shulker box? Well, first of all, we need to actually know that there's a shulker box there, and that's what this repeater here is for. So this repeater here is always powered by this redstone block, and only whenever there's a block here, aka a shulker, only then does it pass a signal through right here. And what that does is it turns off this torch, which gives this torch an opportunity to turn on. But this torch will only turn on if both this is off and this is off. So what do we have over here? Well, this is basically just detecting whether or not the shulker box is empty. So right now there's stuff in there, so it's on, so it's powering the torch here, so the piston isn't extended. So in a nutshell, what this does is it only extends this piston if there's a shulker box there and the shulker box is empty. And then we have a whole bunch of hoppers under here. The reason we have this many hoppers rather than one just in the center is just to make sure that when the shulker breaks, it actually gets picked up. I had a little bit of a problem in testing with the shulker box not getting picked up. We want all our shulkers picked up. And you'll notice we have a hopper minecart here rather than a hopper. And why is that, you might ask? Well, it has to do with hoppers locking. So if we get rid of the hopper minecart and just put down a regular hopper, this here only has 16 items in it, so it should get emptied out pretty quick, right? Well, it's not actually ever going to get emptied out, and that's because this hopper right here is being locked by this repeater right here. This repeater is powering the shulker box, which also powers the hopper, which locks the hopper so the hopper can't actually pull anything out of the shulker box. But then, once we actually unload all of the items, we want to sort out our stackables from our unstackables so we can send them to different rooms. So that's what this little thing here does. So our items will be coming in from this end right here, and you can see we have a comparator right here. So as the items go through, they'll turn on this comparator, and depending on whether the item is stackable or non-stackable, it'll output a different signal strength here. So a non-stackable item like this only outputs a signal strength of 1, so nothing happens. And all the items end up down here. But if we put in some stackable items, you'll see the signal strength extends to 3, powers this redstone torch here, which turns it off, which unlocks this hopper, which allows this hopper to pull items out of this stream up here, and you'll see that it pulls those unstackable items out. And so we are able to sort out the stackables from the unstackables. Yeah, it's kind of neat, huh? So yeah, I don't know if that made any sense, but that is what all this is supposed to do. I decided a long time ago, I'm never going to be a teacher. I'm not that great at explaining things. Oh my goodness, guys, it has been a few weeks since that last clip you just saw was recorded. And there are a few reasons for that. The main one being I have just been pushing through, trying to just get this whole thing built. My goal is just to get the first little section of the storage room finished, but it has taken a whole lot longer than I expected. But you can see there are quite a few things different now. Like we've got this lovely floor here. I went with the warped blocks because I think Nylium is a really cool block that doesn't get used often enough. But having just Nylium was a little bit bland, so I went ahead and put in some warped ward and checkered it a bit, and I really like it. Well, I say I really like it. I don't know if I like it. This was supposed to be neutral colors, all gray, but then that was just looking kind of boring, so I was like, oh look, we already have some sea lanterns here. What if we just went ahead and did some more blue blocks? I don't know if I like it. You guys let me know if you like it or not, because I honestly don't know. I'm going back and forth. Another feature you can see here is we have a wall of water, and it's not just a decorative thing either. As you're flying down the staircase here, it's kind of difficult to stop, and so we have a wall of water here. That way we don't have to stop. Oh, hello! Hello, little slime. I guess we're probably going to be running into slime chunks, aren't we? But yeah, with this water wall here, we can just fly down, smack into the wall, and be just fine. Occasionally I miss or I hit the barrel. I take quite a bit of damage, but it hasn't killed me yet. But now, let's come downstairs and see the thing that you guys are waiting for. This is the room for the first version of Minecraft. Classic! It's got all the blocks and items that were added in Classic, and the room is built using only blocks that were available in Classic. Besides the torches, though. I didn't know what else to use for lighting. And I love how this turned out. You know, just for nostalgia's sake. Let's turn on programmer art. Oh, yes, this is feeling like Classic now. Okay, but I have a confession to make. Not all of the items stored here were added in Classic. This is one of the reasons that this has been taking so long. I kind of got, like, choice paralysis, I guess you would call it. I wasn't sure what to do. So what we're doing here is we've got iron blocks, which were added in Classic. So while we're sorting the storage room by Minecraft versions, it seemed like it made sense to me just to go ahead and have all the iron type blocks all in one spot, you know? Like all the ores, ingots, nuggets. Same thing with blocks like brick, put all the stairs together and walls. Smooth stone, like smooth stone slabs were added in Classic, but smooth stone full blocks weren't actually added until like 14 or something. And honestly, I could have seen us going either way, either grouping all these together or going ahead and putting all the different blocks in their proper version rooms. But what really sold me on the idea of grouping things together was wood items. Let me show you what I mean. Back here in the testing world, I have a little bit of a timeline of when different wood type blocks were added. So you've got all of these different blocks that were added in classic, alpha, beta. These were added in either alpha or beta, I don't know when, 1.2. 1.3, we got different colored planks and stuff. 1.7, we got 2 new wood types. But then it wasn't until 1.8 we got different doors and fences, fence gates. Only at 1.13 we even got different trap doors and pressure plates. 1.14 we got new signs and a whole new wood block, stripped logs. And so I was kind of okay with splitting all these different block types into their different versions, except that oak, it would have all of its different blocks all in one side of the storage room, except for the stripped logs down here. And now that they've started adding new wood types after all of these wooden blocks were added, it's not even like we would have all the trapdoors in one spot and all the doors in one spot. No, now we just have some of the trapdoors here, a trapdoor type there, 2 trapdoor types down here, trapdoor in 1.19. Like, it just doesn't make any sense at all. So the only way I see for this to make any sense, to combine items together, would be to just have, whenever the log was added, add all the other types of wood blocks for that type of wood. And if you're wondering what the redstone looks like for this relatively small room here, the redstone is a little bit bigger than the room itself. There are a lot of item sorters here. I think there are about 60 or so items that get sorted into the 17 stacks of chests. If you're wondering what these composters are here for, that's just to reduce lag. Putting composters on top of the hoppers, somehow that reduces lags caused by the hoppers. Don't ask me how. It just does though. Now I haven't actually tested this out yet by putting some items through. I wanted to wait and do that with you guys. One of my biggest concerns right now is that items might get stuck going through the water streams. So why don't we throw some items in here and see how things go. Do we have anything? Oh. Yeah, here come the items. They seem to be flowing through okay. Oh, why are they stacking up like that? I didn't think they should stack up like that. That worries me. Oh, I know why they're stacking up like that. I have a bubble vader here, but I never put the bubbles in. There we go. Yeah, I think the items were just slowly floating up and stacking together on their way up. And at the end here, I think that's all our items. They made it all the way through. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this is turning out. That's one version down, about 20 more to go. Maybe we'll end up doing like a version per episode or something, or I don't know. I'm not committing to anything, but we'll see how long this takes to build. It's a big project. Now, one more thing that took a lot longer than I expected, that in hindsight probably should have been obvious, was collecting the items to actually put in the sorters. You need at least 45 items to put in the sorters, and so like gold ore and deep slate gold ore especially, those aren't super easy to get in large quantities. I didn't even get all the deep slate gold ore I needed. If we ever throw any deep slate gold ore into our storage system, the filter is just gonna eat it. It won't go into a chest. But another one of those items that was taking a while was bookshelves. And so I had the thought, maybe we have some bookshelves over here at our library because, you know, it has a lot of bookshelves. Maybe there's some left over in a shulker box over here or something. So I was walking around, you know, seeing what's going on. And then I rounded the corner. And I think something happened over here, guys. Yeah, I think at some point while I was underground building, a thunderstorm happened. And the library got struck by lightning. There was a giant fire here. In all my time playing this game, I don't know if I've ever actually had a building burn down because it was struck by lightning. And it's so ironic that it was this building that got burned down because of lightning. Because if you remember when we built this first section here, like in episode 10 or something, we had a lightning rod on top. But then I took it down because I thought it was ugly. I put up a wall here of birch planks, that way no zombies will wander in. It doesn't look like we lost any villagers before I noticed that the place burned down. Yeah, no villagers luckily were harmed in the making of this video. Oh wait. But anyway, this is something that I would usually just leave here for like a year before I finally got around to fixing it, but we actually have some villagers in here we need to protect, so I should probably rebuild the building. I can't believe something actually burned down from being struck by lightning. But now to finish off the episode, I wanted to come over here and talk to you guys about something I've been thinking about with the tree farm. Because in 1.19, they add a new tree type. But as you might be able to tell, this tree farm design wasn't really designed for 9 trees. Yeah, we like to call this thing the flower pad for reasons that are obvious when you look at it on a map. And since the petals have a very distinct shape, there's not really a very good way to incorporate a 9th wood type without basically just tearing down this farm and restructuring it. I thought about going ahead and just tearing the whole thing down and then making it still be a flower but have 9 petals instead of 8. But this isn't really looking that great with 9 petals. These angles are really weird. They don't really fit into Minecraft very well. And plus, at the rate they're going now, within another few years, there's probably going to be even more wood types, and so we'll just have to tear the whole thing down again and add even more petals, and that's just going to be a disaster. I'm basically having the problem here with this tree farm that we were having with our storage room, trying to future-proof it. So one idea that I had, because I think we're going to be tearing this whole thing down regardless of what we do, what if we were to have giant squares, right? This block represents like a giant square we would build. On each square, we would have a different tree type, and we can kind of build up one level higher for every tree type. And then, like, let's say this gives us like 6 trees right here. If we want to add on a 7th tree, all we do is just add on another column right here. If we want to add on an 8th tree, we just keep on going. These blocks are a lot taller than the actual tree platforms would be, but that's kind of my initial idea right now. Or maybe a better idea would be to have a tall one in the very center, and then they start spiraling down from there. That'd probably be better. But what do you guys think? What would be a good tree farm design that can handle trees being added in the future? I don't know, I'm gonna be thinking about this some more though. Well, I think that's about all I have for you guys today. Oh hey look, the roof on the town hall. It finally finished oxidizing. We'll have to go scrape off that oxidation and we can see it happen all over again. Took a while for it to finally oxidize. But yeah, that's all I had for you guys today. This episode took a while to make, but we also got quite a bit done. And so I hope you enjoyed, and I will hopefully see you in the next episode. Goodbye.